I'm Leslie.
And I'm Shelly.
And we're Sisters in Ebert. Welcome back for another Movie Monday.
This is a good one. It's
a fun one. Classic
comedy.
Yes.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
A John Hughes classic.
Beauty.
Yes. So, I remember the first time I saw this movie, I think I was in 9th grade. It was that late.
Was it not a summer of movies?
No, we rented this one with Mom on a Friday night because our friends, John and Pete, had watched it and loved it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Mm-hmm. Mom took us and we rented it.
There's
Sorry if there's a cat interfering.
Hello, kitty. They want to be part of it.
Yes. Okay. So the movie starts out with Ferris being very over-the-top sick.
Yes, it is so funny the way
Matthew Broderick is so young.
Yes. He is so young. I didn't realize until I rewatched it how young he looked.
And now his roles are crazy because he's the old man in the roles.
Yes.
And he was just a baby face. Yeah.
Yes.
But I put the parents by it.
Which I don't know how they got it. It was very over the top. He's like, oh, mommy.
Yeah. And then his sister Jeannie is played by Jennifer Grey, and she put dry that out and you can fertilize the lawn. Because Ferris is just full of it.
Yep.
But it's a beautiful day, but it's his 9th sick day this semester, which that's a lot.
Yeah, that is.
And he always goes with the clammy hands, not fake fever is the way to go. You lick your palms.
You don't want to end up in the doctor's office.
He puts, because with fever, you might have a nervous mother and you'll wind up in the doctor. But he says, you lick your palms. It's childish and stupid, but so is high school.
I love that line.
Oh, it's very true.
It is.
Especially your senior year.
Uh-huh. And this is
at the
spring.
End.
Yeah,
yes.
Spring, senior year, you're phoning it in.
Yeah. And he puts we start out with our famous line, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. And he doesn't care about European socialism, or any ism for that matter, just himself.
Yeah, that's what his test is on.
He has. Yep. He has a test. I have to go. I have a test.
I have a test.
He has no car. His parents bought him a computer instead of a car.
And it seemed like a pretty good computer, so I wouldn't be so complaining about it.
Yeah, and then we cut to the school where Ben Stein does his famous Bueller.
Yes, he is the teacher.
Bueller. And
it's so dry. Well, and I learned that, they didn't really give him a script.
Really?
For the names they did, but for his lesson part of it, where he's just
did
boring the
his own
class,
thing.
they just let him talk because he has his degree in economics or whatever.
Yeah.
So
blank economics.
Yeah, they just let him ramble.
Economics.
Yeah, they just let him ramble on to bore
that
the
is
kids.
fantastic because I remember learning that in economics, and my teacher quoted, he's like, if you remember Ben Stein, that was his hero in high school, and he was very similar to Ben Stein, might I add. So yeah, and then we cut to Cameron, his friend, who is also sick, but Cameron thinks, he's legitimately sick.
Seemingly legitimately sick.
And Ferris, the cat at the door.
Oh, hello.
We have a cat in the room.
Kitty has come. Wow, that was unexpected. Hello.
Please excuse the interruption.
This
Anything can happen.
This is wild.
So,
are you a lap kitty?
Not really.
Oh.
So Ferris says,
"Go back out." Bye.
In his head that Cameron. Nope, he's not.
False alarm.
Yeah,
sorry.
He's in here now.
Okay,
it's just gonna happen.
A new brother for Sisters in Ebert.
So Ferris says in his head that Cameron is dying.
Yes.
Or Cameron says in his head, I'm dying. Yeah, this is it. Cameron's very uptight. And the secretary, we cut to the principal's office, and the secretary is pulling multiple pencils out of her
she's got
beehive.
this 60s style hair, and she's just pulling them out she lost them in there.
She was putting another one in there, and she was she stopped, and then here there was 2 more in there. The school calls Mrs. Bueller as Ferris ends up changing his days off, from home, from the computer somehow.
Uh-huh.
All right, so this was what, 1986.
Mm-hmm.
Ferris is changing his days off in the school computer system
Mm-hmm.
from home in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap your minds around that,
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that today.
Well, yeah. No. Even like 20 years ago, kids couldn't do that.
No.
Like before security got amped up
Yeah.
on things. No. Computers didn't do that.
We didn't have the internet so widely spread. I mean, I know it existed in the ether somewhere, but it wasn't.
Well, and yeah, he got a computer instead of a car, but they probably could have afforded a car with
With
what they spent on that computer to be able to do that.
So, yeah, the economics is so boring. I put Ben Stein is doing his thing. That's fantastic. Now that I know that, that's even better. Well, he's close personal friends with John Hughes.
Yes.
So I didn't know that, until I looked it
Now
up.
you want to go out? You're scratching.
No, he's just being a butt.
I can't.
He's gonna
You
drag
need to
this
be
out.
on camera.
I'll pick him up.
Bring him up.
Okay.
Be part
Hold
of the
this
show.
a sec, would you?
Okay, I'll hold the note.
Oh, this is Zorro.
Hi, Zorro.
Zorro's making a catio instead of a cameo.
Catio. Welcome to Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes. Okay. You might just chill.
I hope so. This is fun.
Okay.
No cats were harmed in the making
No,
of
this
film.
one's fat and happy. And he actually used to be much fatter. He's slimmed down a little
my,
bit,
look
but
at that.
he's healthy. He's just much healthier than he once was. So. We've had him since a kitten. So there starts to be crazy rumors in school about how sick Ferris is, and if he dies, he's giving his eyes to Stevie Wonder.
Well, I had to laugh because it was very realistic high school.
Oh yeah, how
rumors
spreads in a
and
second.
they're all like chitter chattering.
Different, yeah.
But it was very like, it wasn't one of those where like all the kids seemed too old to be in
Yeah.
high school. Like they seemed like legitimate high school kids.
So we cut back to the principal's office, and the secretary's telling the principal about Ferris is very popular. The sportos, the motorheads, the geeks, the sluts, the bloods, the wasteheads. They're what's it, the waste dicks, waste sticks.
The dickheads, didn't she say?
Well, there's waste sticks, dweebies. Waste heads, dweebies, dickheads. They all think Ferris is a righteous dude.
But she ad-libbed righteous dude.
Did she?
Yes. A righteous dude.
Yeah. So, yeah. Waist sticks and dickheads. I wrote them down. I watched it 3 times because I wanted to get it right. So.
Are we going to have to bleep this? I think we might.
I don't think we-
know.
I don't
Is that
think-
bad?
I
Is that
don't-
a swear?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not a nice thing to call
It's
someone,
not.
but
Children don't call that.
yeah. Principal Rooney is out to get him. Ferris makes him look bad. That's, why. I guess because that's the only... Because, why? That's my whole thing.
So he's
Very
very
aggressive.
into catching Ferris and
Mhm.
making an example of him. But it's like, dude, this kid's almost graduated.
I know,
Let
like,
him
who
be out of your
cares?
hair.
Yeah,
like,
you don't-
every other principal's like, let's get this kid out
You
the
don't
door.
want him to repeat the grade.
Yeah, he's like, I'll hold him back another year.
Yeah.
That'll show him.
That's
like,
going to
no,
show you.
He's just going to keep up to his antics.
Yeah. So, yeah. Cameron can't decide if he's going to go or not. Ferris keeps calling. He's like, I know if I don't
pick me
answer,
up.
he's going to keep calling. He's going to keep calling. He's giving himself this pep talk. And I didn't know that actor, I have his name written later on, and Matthew Broderick are like really good friends in real life. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Nurse comes to Sloane's class, which is Ferris's girlfriend,
Mhm.
and says that her grandmother has passed. And then we come back to the principal's office, and Principal Rooney's like, "Who's that girl? This girl going out with these days? I do see her with Ferris Bueller an awful lot."
Which I love that they clearly talked about that this was the plan for the day. 'Cause
Yes.
The nurse walks in and she starts putting on
Our
her jacket.
she knows right away.
Packing up
She's
my
going-
stuff.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh, yeah. And then Mr. Peterson, Sloane's father, calls the school right at the time that Mr. Rooney's trying to call to get him on the phone.
Mhm.
And he tells him, Rooney tells him to produce a corpse.
Yeah, he's like, I know this is Ferris
Yeah.
calling.
So he's
I'm
like,
gonna...
well, as soon as you produce the corpse, we'll be able to... And he thinks it's Ferris, but then Ferris calls at the same time on line 2.
Uh-huh.
So here it's Cameron pretending to be Mr. Peterson,
Mhm.
and Ferris is being Ferris. Cameron / Mr. Peterson, call me sir. Because he gets up, Rooney realizes, oh my gosh, what did I say to this
I've
person?
been saying to this person their family member just died, and I'm talking so poorly to them.
So he has to apologize.
He's very apologetic, and then Cameron starts laying into him.
And they say to have Sloane out front, and then they can't decide. First he says alone, but Ferris thinks that sounds too weird, so he said, well, I want you out there too. He's like, how are we
don't tell him you want him out there too. So now they're trying to figure out how they're going to get Sloane without getting caught.
So they borrow Cameron's dad's Ferrari, and it is his love, his passion, and Ferris said, and his fault that he didn't lock the garage. So, his father knows the mileage, and he doesn't, and Ferris said he doesn't trust you, and never has, never will. Cameron has a very strong relationship with his father.
They do not have a good relationship. He seems afraid of him. Yeah.
Big time. Mm-hmm. He kisses... kisses Ferris' daddy. Like when they pull up at the school.
So they pull
Ferris
up the school.
is in like this trench coat and hat and sunglasses.
Which you see in his room in the background in the beginning, like on a mannequin. So he brought that along. And then Sloane comes up and he's like, are you going to kiss daddy? and Rooney's still there. Yeah. And Rooney says, so that's how it is in that family. But again, I guess this was pre-child line because Neri. He's like, whatever. Yep. I guess it's fine.
Yep. So the license plate on the Ferrari says nervous, NRVOUS. And they go into the city. This is a John Hughes film, so of course it's in the Chicagoland area. Kids are taking collections to buy Ferris a new kidney. What was it, a Pepsi can or something?
Yeah, in a Pepsi can, and they come up to his sister Jeannie, and they're like, can you give some money for Ferris to get a new kidney? And she was like, oh, and she smacks it on the floor, and all the money goes flying.
Sloane has a forwarding number to the funeral home. I put, why? Why wouldn't they just have him leave a regular voice message? You can reach us at...
at the funeral home. Yeah. So then they call the funeral home to verify that this is true, and it goes to Cameron's answering machine and says, this is blah blah mortuary. Like he's got this really odd voice to it.
But they are very elaborate.
Yeah, they planned.
They can't just keep it the regular family.
Well, and I loved also that he said, we're going to pick her up in 10 minutes. And they were able to get the car, get to the school, plan all these things in 10 minutes
10 minutes time. Yeah. So they're parking the car at a garage, and he gives the guy a $5. Don't worry, I gave him a $5. He'll take care of it. See how something can help a person's attitude? With this Ferrari that we're leaving in a city garage. Okay. So the garage guys immediately joyride with the Ferrari. Yeah. Like the second they're out of the garage.
Yeah, they're like not even down the street yet, and you see it go by in the background.
Mrs. Bueller comes home to check on Ferris, and Ferris has rigged his room. I put, you know how we always say that there's always nudity in these 80s movies? Did you notice the boobs on the dresser?
No.
There's just a picture of just a naked torso on the dresser.
You gotta throw it in somewhere. It's the 80s, baby.
So I noticed that because I put boobs on the dresser. And then they're at the Sears Tower. Mm-hmm. And then they go to the stock exchange. Why?
Yeah, they're watching the stock exchange.
This is what kids do for fun.
On your day off, this is what we're gonna do. I'm pretty sure they would have stayed and watched TV.
This is a field trip, what they did.
Yes.
They go to the art museum later. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they go to Chez Louis first. Which, and he's Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And he's like, are you being snooty? Snooty? Snotty. Snotty.
And this is the same restaurant from the Blues Brothers.
I thought so. It looked very familiar. It was the different maitre d'. But
oh!
Zorro.
Oh, no. Zorro. A prop now.
Just be careful. He had a flea treatment the other day. No, it's okay. I just don't want it to get on your face. I mean, it was over.
Need to wash.
Yeah, you need to wash your hands. Don't stick them in your mouth.
We've never had a guest star.
I know. He busted in here on his own. So
I wish this was a cat-themed movie.
I do too. Oh, bummer. Where were you during Pee-wee's Big Top?
That's right. We could have used you.
Okay. Okay. Where am I at? Dang you, Zora. Okay. So Jeannie's inner turmoil. She is just absolutely like ticked off.
She is so mad
that Ferris is getting away with this.
And she wants to prove him wrong.
Yes.
I love this.
Shelly doesn't have cats at her house anymore. So.
I'm allergic, but I don't mind.
So Mr. Bueller is also at Chez Louis at the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's there with clients, like a business meeting.
Like of all the restaurants in Chicago,
I picked the one my dad goes. Yeah. And then Rooney's out investigating.
Yeah.
He leaves school. The assistant principal or the principal, I don't know what he is, but he's something. He should be at school.
It's like, why do you care this
That's
much?
just it. It's like April or May. School's almost out.
You have nothing else to do all day.
Exactly.
You can just devote your day to catching.
I'm sure graduation isn't completely planned yet. Get on it. So Ferris catches a foul ball on TV at, I couldn't tell if it was a Cubs game. Because I couldn't tell at first if it was White Sox or Cubs, and then I saw somebody next to them had a Cubs hat on.
Yeah.
So
it was a real game.
Oh, was
we
it?
Went to a real game.
That's fun. So
June 5th, I think.
Okay. So Rooney's in this pizza place, and they have the game on the TV, and he's putting in his order, and he asks the guy what the score is, and he goes 0-0, and he's like, well, who's winning? And then the guy just looks at him. The Bears. And it was at the pizza shop. And then Jeannie leaves school. She has really cool sunglasses.
Yes,
in that
they
car.
were cool.
I was like, whoa, those are pretty cool. I don't usually recognize that stuff either, but I was like, those are pretty neat. Rooney goes to the Bueller house and realizes that the doorbell also has a recording. I was like, why? Okay. So he decides he's going to break into the house. But why would you ever risk your career breaking into a house? I put no incentive professionally to catch Ferris. None.
Yeah.
This is a vendetta. This is nothing else because you're risking everything.
I guess it was the 80s. They didn't really fire people as much back then.
Really? I mean teachers union is powerful, but
this would be a fireable offense.
Yeah, I think so.
Sure. Breaking and entering.
Yeah. The garage guys are still joyriding. We cut back to them. And then Ferris and Jeannie and the Bueller family's dog is after Rooney. Like, they have a big Rottweiler.
Yes.
After this, we go to the Chicago Art Museum. And
on their field trip.
Yeah, which this was actually, I love this scene. And my son was born in 2018. And he used to love, like, that generation of the Muppet Babies. They parody the scene exactly in an episode of the Muppet Babies. They go on a trip to the art museum to the point where it's like the three are staggered looking at the paintings.
That's funny.
And where Cameron's staring at that. I don't know what it's called, but that famous.
Yeah, it's the park.
The park one, yeah. Park. And he's like making eyes with that little girl. Fozzie Bear does that. Because they're looking for this monkey stole animal's lunchbox.
Oh my god.
Or Fozzie's lunchbox, because he wasn't paying attention to his lunchbox. And here it was like a monkey from one of the other paintings came out and stole his lunchbox. And he's hopping in all these paintings with it.
This elaborate.
Yes. And it is like down to the smallest detail. Yes. And it's just like Miss Piggy and Kermit and I think Gonzo are maybe like looking at. It is, or Animal. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love that scene. I actually like taped it one time with my phone because I'm like, this is fabulous. Because I recognized it right away. I was like, this is for the grown-ups in this show. Yeah.
Well, I learned that this whole scene was all John Hughes because he loved to go to the museum and that's where he would like get lost in his thoughts and like stare at the paintings. So he wanted to show all his favorite paintings in the movie. So that's why he did it.
Well, it was a really cool visual movie. And if you're curious, the monkey has escaped into that painting Fozzie's staring at with the lunchbox. And that's where they end up.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Now you can't watch that episode of Muppet Babies.
Please do and compare because that is it's gorgeous. I don't know if anybody's ever made like a side by side.
There probably is.
It's fantastic.
A lot of like Family Guy has parodied this.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a whole scene.
I just know when I was like in the depths of like, oh my gosh, it's kid stuff all around me, and I was watching.
You look for those little bright lights.
Thank goodness. So we cut to next a German parade on a random weekday.
But it's a real parade.
And it happens on a random weekday?
No, it's on Saturday.
I was going to say.
Yeah, but they filmed it specifically during that time.
I believe that because it looked like it was very elaborate, the floats and stuff. It was like some kind of German heritage parade. There's a lot of people in lederhosen.
Yeah, if you look when they're in the Sears Tower, two of the guys there for the parade, like they were just regular tourists, like they had hats on, like you can tell, and like they were there for the parade.
Fantastic. That's great. So then after the parade, did I not put that down? Hang on a second. Okay, so we cut to his dad's. So they cut to the parade first. Ferris hasn't joined it yet, but his dad's taxi is in traffic, and the boys are on the floor of the cab, and they have Sloane in the passengers
backseat.
And they're down there with a rabbit foot, just like rubbing it,
trying not to get caught by his dad.
because they're right next to his dad, stopped in traffic.
Yeah, in the cab.
They're both in cabs, and so then we cut to the next scene. And it's Twist and Shout and Donkashane. And Ferris is on like the float lip syncing to these songs.
Cameron had been freaking out that he left him, he ditched him.
Yeah, which I didn't see all that happen.
No, like it just was all of a sudden
Ferris is gone.
Yeah, they just say
they were out of the taxis by then.
Yeah, and Sloane is like, don't worry, he's not gonna leave us. Yeah. Like she's trying to calm Cameron down.
And he's like, he went back to school. She's like, he's not going back to school.
Yeah. They had a really nice relationship.
They did.
So like a nice platonic, care for each other friendship. Yeah.
And it's I put that's probably the most iconic scene. I put triplet businessmen. Did you see that part? And then the dad is everybody's dancing. It's kind of Blues Brothers-esque where just everybody just starts dancing and singing. And then even his dad's like up in his skyscraper office, he's looking down. So then we got to the flower delivery at the Bueller house.
Yes.
For a speedy recovery, the English department faculty and staff, and Rooney uses the flowers to poison the dog or knock the dog.
To knock the dog
it's
out.
Horrible. Yeah. So he accepts this. From
the delivery person.
From the English department.
From the English department at school.
Faculty and staff. Yeah. Just like getting this huge flower arrangement. They're cut to a water tower. It's painted "Save Ferris," and Jeannie sees it. And so Jeannie gets home and finds that Ferris is faking it. There's a mannequin in his bed, and he's got this whole room rigged up with this computer.
Freaking out.
Yeah. So then Rooney walks into the house, I put, and Jeannie knocks Rooney out. And
so she hears Rooney and thinks it's Ferris.
And Ferris hears Jeannie and thinks it's Ferris. Rooney hears Jeannie and thinks it's Ferris.
Yeah, so they both come around the corner like, I gotcha.
Yeah, and then she just drops him.
She kicks him 3 times in the face.
Yeah. So Rooney's car is ticketed because it's by a hydrant.
Yeah. Yeah, he parked right by the hydrant.
Dummy. The Ferrari is returned to the kids. And 911 is not helping Jeannie.
Yeah, because there's an intruder. Which, did she not recognize the principal?
Right, because she's also a student at the school. So Rooney's car gets towed. All this is happening simultaneously. And then Rooney drops his wallet leaving the house. It's in the kitchen.
So there's evidence that he was there. That he was the one.
So they're driving away in the Ferrari, and Ferris asked Cameron how many miles the car had on it. He said it had 126 miles and a half between 3 and 4/10. Now has 3,017 miles on
I don't know how they could have possibly
There's
done
no
that.
way.
I mean,
think of how long you'd have to drive. Like the whole country.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they were just doing donuts somewhere over and over and over and over and over and over.
I guess, but dang. Okay, so Cameron goes comatose.
He's just
frozen. Yeah. And then at this point we cut back to the Bueller house, and a naughty nurse arrives with other gift telegrams to restore Ferris's pluck.
She's the nurse who likes
restore your pluck.
Which, did you see who she was with? The other delivery person? Because it's like a team of them. Louis Anderson.
No! Yes. I missed that.
And he was very upset because he was supposed to have a speaking part, and John Hughes cut it. So, I guess he was, nasty to that nurse. He was like, you better get this right in the first take, because I want to get out of here. And he was, kind of mean to her.
So, was he already a name at this point?
No, this is one of his earliest
things. Then, who are you to pull rank? I mean, yes, we all know.
But he was majorly upset that his part
I get
was cut.
I get it. But I mean, especially if you're always in the chorus, you're always in the background. Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. So, I don't know if I should share my drama club story.
Let's not.
Okay.
Well, what is it?
It's not in here.
It's not.
No, it's just the side part that I thought about with that Louis Anderson story.
I don't know.
I was always in the ensemble in every single thing we were in, and my plan was if my senior year, if I didn't get one of the leads, I was gonna just not do it.
Oh.
If I didn't want to be in the ensemble again.
Louis.
Yeah, but I had a friend who specifically said later on, because I ended up getting a lead, and my friend who was in the ensemble said to me, he said, look at you, because he was talking about somebody else that we knew and how they had such a bad attitude. He's like, you wouldn't have, you would have given it your all if you were casting the ensemble. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm terrible person. I was going to bounce. Secrets.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah.
It's your senior year.
It is. And I was thinking, I don't want to stress out and do this to just have to show up for all these practices.
Well, thank goodness you showed up.
Sorry.
That's funny.
But it made me think of that immediately.
That's your Louis Anderson.
That's my Louis Anderson story. Yeah. So, lifeguard is comatose Cameron they go to Sloane's house, I'm guessing, with the pool.
Yeah, I thought that was Sloane's house.
Yeah. And he nearly drowns because he just falls face first into the pool. And Ferris saves him.
Ferris jumps in and saves him.
Ferris Bueller, my hero.
Yeah, he was faking.
Yes. He was.
And Ferris is so mad at it.
What? He was so mad and just so flustered. So now Jeannie's at the police station for making a fake 911 call.
Yeah, they arrest her for making a fake 911 call because they don't believe there was an intruder there.
Yeah, he's sitting next to Charlie. She's sitting next to young Charlie Sheen again, which this was pre-Major League.
Yep, this is one of his earlier things.
Yeah, yep. And he's sitting there and he's like, what are you in for? Drugs? No, I'm not in for drugs. Well, what are you in for? Drugs.
And so that he would look strung out like a druggie, he stayed up for 48 hours before they filmed that scene.
He had red eyes.
Yeah, because he hadn't slept in 2 days.
Well, thank goodness that's what he did.
It didn't. I mean, later Charlie Sheen might have.
Yeah. Are we sure he stayed up?
That's what he claimed.
And then he tells Jeannie that she wears too much.
Sorry, I'm so distracted.
That she wears too much eye makeup.
Yeah. She's so insulted. She's just like...
She didn't have that much eye makeup on, I felt. And he's like, my sister wears too much. Everybody thinks she's...
Yeah.
She's loose. To put a nicer lip. So cops bring Jeannie in for making the phone call. But even though there was a guy in, I don't get, I don't know.
Right. I don't know why I don't know.
Yeah. So Charlie Sheen recommends there's a guy that she should talk to. And
he can help her out.
He can help her out. And she goes, don't say Ferris Bueller. He goes, oh, you know him? So Cameron realized that worry was wasteful. We cut back to them at the pool. And they're back at Cameron's house. The miles are not coming off the car.
Yeah, they're trying
in the garage. They're trying to
reverse.
Because Ferris says that if they put it in reverse, it'll take the miles off the car.
That was wrong.
Yeah, apparently there was it was after that. Yeah, but I mean, apparently it was after that, or the dad put something into
this particular fancy car.
So Cameron kicks the car, and he keeps kicking it, and it ends up speeding off out the window and smashes the window because he knocks it off the jack. Yeah.
It's just plummeted to the bottom.
Yeah. And he's like, no, I want the heat for my dad, because Ferris is like, I'll take the heat for it. No,
tell your dad I did it.
No, you don't want this much heat. I do. I want it. He's like, I could have stopped you if I wanted to. And Ferris is like shocked, and he's like, I can stop. Ferris Bueller can be stopped. Even.
Yeah, so he's ready. He's over it now. He's like, I'm done being scared of my dad.
And I think he felt like even negative attention is attention.
Yeah.
So, Mom gets Jeannie at the police office.
Yeah, and she's so mad.
And the officers are saying to the mom that the whole station is pulling for Ferris.
Hope he does. He
gets better, yeah. So Jeannie's making out with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. And her mom is so mad that she's like, really? This is what you're going to do? Yeah. Well, I had to come bail you out.
Yeah. But I said, you and I are Jeannie. Because our parents were like, always like, what did you do?
Yeah,
how did you, like, we couldn't get away with anything.
Yeah.
And I said, with her mother blaming her and Ferris getting off scot-free.
Yep.
Because it was like every other kid, like, we could have been the victim of anything. And like, our parents were like, well, you had a hand in it.
Yeah.
Like, Ferris is running home through backyards, narrowly missing his parents.
Yeah, he has to be home by 6 because that's when his dad gets home.
Yeah. And I put, how did Jeannie lose the cops by the time she gets home? Because she's like, gets a speeding ticket and they still got home first.
Yes.
Like, Jeannie is speeding, so the cops pull her over, and
because she's speeding because she sees Ferris.
Yeah, so she's trying to get him home to show her mom.
Yeah,
he's faking it. He's been out all day.
Yeah, so the cops somehow pull her over and give her a ticket in that time,
and they still get home first. Anybody who's gotten a speeding ticket knows it is a lengthy process. Yeah.
They were handwritten. It was different.
Yeah, I guess. No, they were. I feel like they were even longer then. Yeah. So Rooney is still there, and
at 6 o'clock at night. Dude, go home.
Get over it, dude. Jeannie helps Ferris with Rooney, because she finds the wallet.
Yes.
And she's like, here, thank you so much for helping my brother get home. Yeah. Scoot. You know?
Yeah, he's trying to walk home from the hospital.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But I didn't understand why all of a sudden
she wants to help.
I
think because she was so ticked off at Rooney, maybe. That she's like,
it still seemed odd.
It seemed like a complete. Well, you know what? I think I was gonna say the Charlie Sheen thing. I think changed her a little bit too.
That's true. She
loosened up, but then she saw him again and went right back into it. I don't know. Maybe she's just going back and forth.
Yeah.
I put that I always thought Jeannie seemed older than Ferris.
Yes, I thought she was the older sister, but then when you think about it...
But she can't be unless they're twins.
No, because then when I looked it up, because they were supposed to have a younger sibling to it in the original script, and they cut that part, so like she was going to be the middle child. Like the one
that would make more sense then.
Yeah.
Because if she's the baby, she's going to be... Because that's why I thought Ferris was the baby, because he's everybody...
They baby him, yes. But nope.
Yeah. So Ferris is back in bed in time. And he again says, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around, you might miss it. The parents, find him. They're going to give him some soup and crackers and see how he feels. And then Rooney rides home on a school bus, packed with kids at 6 o'clock at night.
So I guess what this scene originally was, it was in the movie originally, like after... He left their house briefly, before Ferris came home. Yeah. So it was like the afternoon.
Okay.
And then they cut the scene and then just decided to show it at the end.
Okay.
So that's how it would make sense.
Because, it's a great scene, but...
Yeah, but at 6 o'clock at night, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's light out.
You have to suspend disbelief a little bit.
Because at first I thought, maybe it's like an activity bus.
Yeah.
But no.
These are just regular kids trying to get home. And he sits in this one open seat, and it's next to this really weird girl. I bet you never smelled a real school bus before.
These huge glasses.
Yeah.
Which I read that they made them in the costume department, and they were super heavy, and she had to hold her head a certain way so they wouldn't fall off.
She looked like she was stiff. Yeah. So that makes sense. And then she's like, want a gummy bear? It's been in my pocket all day, so it's real warm and soft.
Just chucks it.
And then there's he looks over and one of the other kids has "Save Ferris" written on his binder.
Yeah, he just looks exhausted.
As he should. And then he put why then at the end we just cut back to Ferris again coming out of his room. Why are you still here? It's over. Go home. Because you sat through the whole credits. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there weren't too many end credit scenes back then.
No, yeah.
This was.
Well, I think that was a fun, edgy thing to do. So when they filmed this, and that's how it ends. When they filmed this movie, Matthew Broderick was 23 and Cameron was 29, which they looked pretty young.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because I've seen, like think of 90210 with Andrea. Yeah. She was 29 and she looked 29. Yeah. Like, these guys.
Yeah, I guess Cameron said, like, when he was 18, he looked 12. So, yeah, he's, like, something genetically makes me look younger.
And, yeah, I put that Rooney was in Beetlejuice and Amadeus and a lot of other movies. Yeah, Devil's Advocate, Easy Money.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
I put Until the Unpleasantness, We Can Never Go Back.
Wait, I don't know. You didn't know? I don't know the
He has, he's a sex offender now. Yeah, like he got caught, I guess, in 2014-ish? Or no, 2009, somewhere in the 2000s. And he had like a 14-year-old posing for him. Oh, yeah. So like
unpleasantness that we can't talk about.
The new Beetlejuice movie, he's not in it, I don't think. Yeah, so there's some unpleasantness. But there's some movies that came out after that, like, he's still casting things sometimes. It's just, awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about
No. And I put The Secretary and Ferris Bueller's Dad were both in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is also a John Hughes movie. And Ben Stein was too.
Yes.
And then at the end, I just put this note in here. Simple Minds. If you look in Ferris's bedroom, there's a poster for Simple Minds, Don't You Forget About Me, which this movie was filmed. Probably filmed in 85, came out in 86. Breakfast Club was probably filmed in 84, came out in 85. Mm-hmm. So, and that's the Breakfast Club theme, that everybody equates with the Breakfast Club, but he has a poster for it in his room, and they're only a year apart. So I was like, there's nods. Yeah.
All the license plates, besides the Nervous one, they all are nods to John Hughes films. Like they're the initials of, like, really? There's a breakfast, the TBC, I think, is for the Breakfast Club on one of the license plates. I forget what the other ones were, but
he had fantastic movies. Yes, it's just brilliant, and like I went through his like Wikipedia, so many writing credits too, like that he didn't produce or direct. But he's like had his hand, like Home Alone. Like the reason it feels like a John Hughes movie is because he wrote it. Yeah, and like so many. Genius. Yeah, he worked a lot with John Candy. Worked Great Outdoors. Yeah, he wrote on that, and
John Candy auditioned. I think it was Cameron, but they thought he would look too old.
Oh, he would have looked too old. He can't be Cameron. He could have been the principal.
There was somebody else too. Johnny Depp was considered for Cameron.
That's ironic.
Or maybe he was Ferris.
Okay, so that is ironic.
No, they wrote it for. He wrote it for with Matthew Broderick in mind.
Okay.
I don't know. He was the one that was
that's
listed.
Interesting because I went down like a little rabbit hole yesterday. Because Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey dated, and it was like during this that I think that they met, and kind of no, it was before this a little bit. I don't remember what I saw, but they did break up in 1987, and then after that, Jennifer Grey was engaged to Johnny Depp.
Oh, okay. Oh my.
Yeah, but which is so odd to me that like they dated because they're brother and sister
in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, that's a little strange.
Scoot!
That's funny.
Yeah, so it was just, but great movie.
Oh, it's so
classic.
Good. It's so
it's
funny.
Fun. It holds up. It's fun.
I felt like the end dragged a little bit. Like it.
The end sequence of them running home. I was like, okay.
They could have sped this up a little bit.
Like the dad gets behind this old lady pulling out from a church, and she's like swerving. I'm like, okay, let's get to it.
Yeah, but there's so many good lines. Matthew Broderick is perfect.
Peak.
Yeah.
Peak.
He's so good in this.
Yeah, and I think this is pretty much what kind of cemented his stardom.
Yeah.
Because everybody loved him after that. Like, he was the cool kid after this, So. Yeah, I just thought it was neat that so many people are friends in the movie, and so many people, like, just, it seemed like a buddy pick.
Yeah,
so
a lot of fun.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No,
for this one?
I think this is great. I give it 2 thumbs up.
I do too. And this was not a summer movie, so we don't have any rating.
Yeah, we don't have a special rating for this one.
But I do enjoy it, and it holds up, and it's fun to watch with your teenagers.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good show. So, but we thank you again for joining us for another Movie Monday. We ask that you please support us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Sisters and Ebert. Please also follow and like and comment and subscribe on our YouTube channel, Sisters and Ebert. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. See you at the movies.